Riyad Mahrez gone. Phil Foden cemented. Pep Guardiola looks at his squad and decides one thing. Cole Palmer isn't needed. So City sell him for £40 million. And not to just anyone, to Chelsea, a club drowning in chaos, pressure and broken transfers. Fast forward one season. Palmer isn't just Chelsea's best player. He's one of the best in the Premier League. So how does a kid City didn't want become the man Chelsea can't live without? This is the story of Cole Palmer. Cole Jermaine Palmer was born in Wythenshawe, Manchester, a working-class area known for its passion for football. Like every kid there, he dreamed of pulling on the blue shirt of Manchester City. And at 8 years old, that dream began when he joined their academy. But here's the thing. Palmer was never the obvious star. Too skinny, too quiet. Coaches even debated releasing him because they weren't sure he'd ever develop the physicality needed for senior football. What saved him? His touch, his technique, his football brain. He always looked like he had more time on the ball than everyone else. Palmer once admitted he never thought he'd make it at City. He saw kids stronger, faster, more physical. But the academy stuck with him. By his mid-teens, Palmer was one of the most technically gifted players in the entire youth setup. But even then, he wasn't a headline name like Jadon Sancho or Phil Foden. He was in the shadows. Until Pep Guardiola noticed something. Pep doesn't give out compliments easily. But when Palmer started training with the first team, Guardiola called him special. That was enough to get him into the first team picture. Cup matches, Champions League cameos, even Premier League appearances. And Palmer didn't disappoint. He scored goals in the Champions League. He looked calm under pressure. He even bagged one in the Carabao Cup that had fans whispering, maybe he's next. But here's the problem. At City, being good isn't enough. You have to be extraordinary. And even then, you need luck. Palmer was competing with Foden, Grealish, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva. How do you break through when every single player ahead of you is world class? Palmer was patient, but patience only lasts so long. The summer of 2023, the Community Shield against Arsenal. Palmer scores. A few days later, the UEFA Super Cup against Sevilla. Palmer scores again. Back-to-back goals in finals. The stage looked set for him to finally step up at City. Even fans were buzzing. This is Palmer's breakout year. But Pep thought differently. Chelsea came knocking with a £40 million bid. And City said yes. Pep explained. He couldn't guarantee Palmer the minutes he wanted. At City, he would always be a rotation option, not a starter. But here's the shocking part. City weren't just selling a squad player. They were selling one of their brightest academy products to a Premier League rival. Even Chelsea fans weren't sure. Was this kid really worth £40 million? Or just another hyped-up youngster about to get lost in the chaos of Stamford Bridge? For Palmer, it was terrifying. Leave the comfort of City. Join a Chelsea side that couldn't stop losing. A squad full of expensive flops. Fans who'd booed players for less. It could have been a career-ending move. Instead, it was the making of him. Imagine being 21 years old. You've left your boyhood club. You're walking into a Chelsea team in total crisis. New owners spending money recklessly. Managers changing every few months. Players failing left and right. And in the middle of that chaos, you're expected to deliver. From his very first games, Palmer looked unfazed, calm, composed, almost arrogant in the best way. Then came the penalties, ice cold, against Arsenal, against his former club, Manchester City, against anyone who dared challenge him. It didn't matter if it was the 90th minute or the last kick of the game. Palmer just slotted it home. December 2023. Chelsea versus Everton. Palmer scores once, then again, then again, then again. 4 goals in one game. Suddenly, the £40 million kid City let go was outscoring their superstars. By the end of the season, Palmer's numbers were shocking. He wasn't just Chelsea's top scorer. He was competing with Mo Salah, Erling Haaland, Bukayo Saka. Think about that. A player City sold for £40 million. Now producing elite Premier League numbers in a broken Chelsea team. He wasn't just surviving, he was carrying them. But success brings criticism. Some fans argue Palmer's stats are inflated by penalties. Others say he only looks good because Chelsea are so bad. Someone has to take the shots. So let's get nerdy for a second. When you look at Palmer's non-penalty XG plus assists, he still ranks among the top Premier League attackers. When you watch him on the ball, his composure, his decision-making, his ability to glide past defenders, it's not just penalties. This is genuine talent. But the real test? Consistency. Can Palmer keep this up when Chelsea eventually rebuild? Can he shine when he's no longer the only hope in attack? Here's where things get even more interesting. The England national team. Right now, the Golden Boys are Saka, Foden, Bellingham. But Palmer? He's knocking on the door. The question is, where do you play him? Right wing? Attacking midfield? False 9? For England fans, it's a dream problem. Too much talent. But for Palmer, it's the chance to prove he's more than just Chelsea's saviour. He could be England's wildcard, the guy who steps up when the others don't. Remember, he's only 22. His best years are still ahead of him. So what's Palmer's legacy going to be? At Chelsea, he's already their most important player. He's the one fans trust when everything else falls apart. And he could easily be their captain one day. For City, though, this might be the one that hurts. The one player they look back on and say, we let him go too soon. Because Cole Palmer isn't just a City reject. He's Chelsea's star. And maybe, just maybe, England's future.